What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here, Coach's Corner, the center of the universe. Another episode of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, grubbin' is tasting. Man, I tell you what, we got a lot to go over about that Bristol race there. Obviously, we know tires are going to be a huge issue on the show as they were in the race. But, hey, thank you guys. Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. If you're new to tuning in, we're going to get this thing started. It's like what we call the word of the day. So I have no idea what this word is going to be. Lawrence will throw it up, but every time I say it, you're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. I like to say it's age appropriate as well. If you're under 21, look, it's Wednesday, coming back after a long Paddy's Day weekend where your parents probably got a little rowdy. You deserve to get a little rowdy too. So Red Bull, sweet tea, Kool-Aid, man, play along, take a sip. So today's word is going to be, I have absolutely no idea, but every time I say it, make sure you play along, y'all. So get into that NASCAR news, and let's be honest, not a lot of news came out this week, but hey, Denny the Weasel Hamlin, as I like to call him, comes home victorious. Back-to-back wins there at Bristol. Won that playoff race there this past summer/fall. Turns around, wins it again, and the first one back on concrete in the spring. Hey, they made the right calls. They made the right moves, man. First win for that 11th team of the season. I tell you, he's creeping up on 60. Denny's creeping up on 60 wins, man. It's something to aim for. It's something to be seen. So at the end of the day, we'll see what he can do, but he's getting close for sure. So biggest question of the week, you know, everybody's kind of tapped in and tuned, and especially drivers. More horsepower coming to NASCAR. Is that what we want? Is that what we need? It's kind of the hottest commodity in what they're talking about now. And look, when it comes to, I guess, what we consider short tracks, yeah, I think that would probably be a great idea. You know, it gives drivers a little bit more control through the throttle. They're able to drive the car better, you know, make some moves that they need to make. Obviously, it's going to set different people away and driving styles away and add a little more strategy into the race. So I definitely think it's something. You know, when you listen to the comments, I mean, Elliott commented on it, obviously coming from the history of engine builders that they've had in their family. Larson's commented on it. A lot of guys, Harvick. You know, 1,000 horsepower, and people go, you know, but Larson goes, hey, it can be done. They just literally took an engine out of one of the next gens, put 1,000 horsepower in it, put it into a car they're getting ready to auction off over there at HMS for charity. So at the end of the day, it can be done. Now, I don't know if I necessarily want to see that on 1.5 miles. I think that what we have now and the issues that we've already seen in safety in the next gen, I think if you start adding horsepower and you start gaining miles per hour, which you're going to on big tracks, you open up a whole nother can of worms for safety issues. So it's something to be seen, but definitely short tracks, your true short tracks, you know, Martinsville, Bristol, you know, Richmond. I mean, we can go on. Maybe even Phoenix, you know, Phoenix is all right. I don't consider that a true short track, but even Phoenix, you know, let's add some horsepower. Let's give some, you know, maneuverability back into the driver's hands through that throttle control. So going to be interesting to see how we do moving forward. We know it's the 3rd year on that next gen car. You know, I think this is the best racing we've seen yet. You know, other than this past weekend, I think that's kind of whatever. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what kind of moves NASCAR makes in the offseason and see if we change this short track package or not. So a little bit more news. Hey, Kaz Grala getting ready to make a Xfinity run this weekend there at Circuits of the America. You know, really good deal there. Signed up, got him going. I hope the best for him. I mean, I think that, you know, you've seen him definitely have some really good runs on some road course races, and I think maybe this is, you know, a time that he can kind of step his foot in there and get his foothold in the Xfinity Series. I mean, it just kind of plans on how it plays out, but excited to see him make that run there at COTA for sure. Got to give a big shout out as well to probably one of my favorite Truck Series drivers. You know, me and Lawrence bet on it all the time, and there's definitely a guy that I take almost week in and week out. And Christian Eckes, man, I tell you what, that dude. He was on fire. I mean, he started on the pole and ended up winning the race and beat one of the best ones ever to grace the concrete surface at the last Coliseum in Kyle Busch. So I think that's a big, definitely confidence booster for sure for that young driver. And I tell you what, I think if he doesn't win a championship this year, I don't think it really matters. That's my championship pick for the Truck Series, but I think he's definitely going to be making that move up next year for sure. I don't think Cup yet, but moving to Xfinity will definitely pay some dividends for him. Just depends on, there again, sponsorship and ride availability. But a lot of talent. He showed what he can do in the trucks, and I think he'll continue to show what that talent can do behind the wheel. So big shout out for that young man as well. So that's going to wrap it up for the news. Like I said, not much news. If you guys haven't yet, please go out, like, share, follow, all that social media we got out there. Lawrence got it set up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, but most importantly, go out, subscribe to that YouTube channel. We're gaining some subscribers, slowly but surely. Trying to get to 400, man, and I'm telling you what. Like me and Lawrence said, first race Alex Bowman wins, that helmet will go. If he does not win a race this year, at the end of the season, we're going to go ahead and give it away. But I tell you what, man, make sure you go to that YouTube channel. When you go, if you're a new subscriber, an old subscriber, like the video, subscribe to it, put hashtag, Alex the Showman Bowman. It's going to be amazing, man. We're going to pick randomly somebody that wins it whenever they're, again, first win of the season or, at the end of the year. Somebody's going home with this bad boy right here. It's just an awesome deal. And like I said, feeding right into it, checkered flag for charity. You guys know how we get down. That's part of it. The more eyes we get subscribed to that YouTube channel, hopefully the more damn people we get, involved to our charitable things that we do, not only here for Rubbin' and Grubbin', checkered flag for charity, but Coach's Corner as well. So, hey, look, at the end of the day, Hamlin won last week. You know what we do. Anything under the 20 of Christopher Bell is always the 20. We throw that in there. $593 as a total this year. As I've talked about it, Logan Spencer, just a great guy. A lot of donation, a lot of time donated into this community, raising money for the kids there with the shrine. Passed away unexpectedly, leaves behind a couple kids. We're raising that money for an educational fund. A couple years ago, we did it for a really close friend of mine. We're doing it for these two awesome kids here, Ashton and Sparrow. Man, so come out. We got some events coming up at Coach's. It's getting ready to get into the hot time of the season. I'll break it down in that Coach's news here at the end of the show, but I tell you what, if you're coming out of the Sound Garden, make sure you bring some extra dough. Getting those raffles, it all stays local and goes directly to this family cash money to help them with that educational fund. So definitely, like I said, it's a feel good. You get a good show. You come out of Coach's and have a good night. You also got a chance to go home with, most of the time, cooler full of joy, booze, man. So awesome deal. But make sure you go out, subscribe to that YouTube channel, follow along, bring some money to Coach's at Sound Garden, donate, baby. So getting ready to get into that who's hot and who's not, but before we do, let me tell y'all, man, it's been a Wednesday. All right, it's been a great week for me so far. I will say that. It's been an amazing time. Tuesday was probably one of the best times I've had in a long time. Very great night. But at the end of the day, we're pausing for station identification. Back with the cold beer. Y'all know how I'm rolling. It's going to be one of those shows tonight. So cheers, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Coach's Corner Sports Network, Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday, man. Cheers, y'all. I miss that. There's going to be a point in time this season I'm letting everybody know out there. I'm going to have somebody might come in and fill in for the show because I'm going to get rowdy. I'm bringing the Kong Bong up here. We're going to get rowdy on the show one time this year. I feel like I got that in me just one time. Yeah, well, I know you. I know him. Yeah, I'm not going to drop a name, but I know him. I know he gets rowdy. That's right. So getting right back into it, man. We're going to start out with that who's hot. But before we do, got to give a big shout out to my main man, Parker Eccles over there. One of my main sponsors here on the show, Arbor Man Tree Service. You'll see that number scrolling all night long. I got a phone call Sunday. I'm almost extremely upset I didn't make the move and go out there. But a couple guys, buddies of ours, Parker and another one, we'll say that neck and neck for a really good tree service as well. Owner or operator were hanging out and said, "Hey, come to the house. Come over to the house, man. We're hanging out, watching the race." I was going to, just didn't make it there. But I get up with them boys soon and hang out and throw it down because they're good folks, man. But like I said, best tree service in Savannah, locally owned, operated, insured, doesn't matter what it is, full tree removal, stump grinding, limbs cut back. Need an estimate before we get into hurricane season coming up. Make sure you give Parker a call over there, Arbor Man. He'd be glad to come out and give you that quote. I mean, I don't know. We hadn't talked about it, but if you mention you saw it on Rubbin' and Grubbin', he might even cut a little something off, man. Who knows? But anyways, love you, brother. I'm going to call you soon. Hope you're healing up good. I'm sure you back at it like a bad habit, as we all are. But love you, dude. So getting into the who's hot, man, and I tell you what, it's no surprise. I mean, Larson is obviously going to be the hottest right now. I mean, another top 5 finish there. How he rebounded from what he did to come back to finish 5th there, I have absolutely no idea. But he did, and it never ceases to amaze me, the talent that this young man has. At the end of the day, I think there again, consistency all the way around. I think from crew chief to crew to engineers to the driver itself, that is the most solid team we have in NASCAR, period, week in and week out. So obviously has to be number 1 this week. 2 for me, man, look, I'm going to keep Christopher Bell on this hot list, man. I tell you what, I really feel like Christopher Bell is going to have a breakout season this year. I think this year will be that breakout season for Christopher Bell. I think he's a young, talented guy. He's finally coming into his own. Another top 10 finish there at Bristol after all the stuff that we saw going on. Figured out a way to get it, and, you know, that's honestly what you have to do week in and week out through a season. It's not always about, you know, winning the race, right? We all like to win. I mean, that's the objective. That's what you do as a racer. You go out to win. But at the end of the day, when you know you have a 15th place car and you can finish 12th or 10th, that's a win, you know. So I think Bell is finally learning how to do that a little bit. If he can keep the gremlins out of the garage, because we know he's had some trouble, you know, just bad luck, mechanical, or whether it be just anything that happens. If he can keep the gremlins out of the garage, he'll be in good shape this season. So keep an eye on Christopher Bell for sure. Last but not least, I got to keep this guy on the hot list too, because I think he's having a really good second season, to be honest with you, and that's Ty the Prophet Gibbs. I mean, Ty Gibbs, one, we know he's in some of the best equipment. We know his grandfather's Joe Gibbs. You know he's going to be dealt some of the best stuff out there, but at the end of the day, you still got to go out there and perform, and that's what he's doing. I mean, you know, I don't want to bring a heartbreak up too early. Me and Lawrence had him locked in on a couple different bets this week, and it looked really good really early, and then towards the end, I'm like, all right, we still are there. We got a shot. Just didn't pan out the way we needed it to, but at the end of the day, I think he's getting hot. Now, do I think this week at Circuits of the Americas is somebody you should really look at? Probably not. I think that this is definitely something that takes experience and a knack to go out and do, especially Circuits of the Americas. This is an actual true road course. But I tell you what, coming up in the next week, you look at somewhere like Richmond. We know that Toyota runs good there. Hamlin's always run good there. Truex's run good there. Ty Gibbs has a potential there. I still pick Kansas. I still pick Kansas Spring Race, hands down. I think that's the best shot that he has to go out and get that first win. Me and Lawrence are going to bet the house on him that weekend. I'll pay for it. I don't give a damn, all right? But we're taking it for sure. 100% Ty Gibbs at Kansas. I've called it. I've said it. If I lose, I lose, but that's what I'm doing. But, yeah, I think he's a young talent. Obviously, it's not my cup of tea. But at the end of the day, you can't deny the talent the young man has behind the wheel. So, getting into the who's not, none of Lawrence's favorite drivers on there, but there is a Ford on there. J-Lo. Oh, Joey Logano stays on the not. I have no idea what is going on with the 2-time champ there. Just cannot. I mean, fast, as we saw early in the season, you know, at the super speedway races, Atlanta, and we saw it again there at Daytona, and you see it going on, right? But at the end of the day, just hasn't had a very good season, which you can't write him off. He can be quiet until he's not. And, you know, one win gets him in, and next thing you know, in the playoffs, he heats up and finds a way to sneak into the 4, and next thing you know, wham, bam, baby, he's there running for the championship. So I expected to turn around quick, but right now that's some bad juju going on over there at Penske in that 22 camp. So another name, again, you do not expect to see on that not list, Kyle Busch. I think this might be the most dismal season I've ever seen out of Kyle Busch in his racing career. Just, man, can't catch a break. Bad luck, bad cars, bad equipment. I mean, and Richard Childress paying some big bucks for him. So you would figure if you're going to pay your driver big money, you start putting that money back into the racing program. I don't know what's going on over there, but they are definitely off. So good week to get it turned around. I don't think Kyle Busch is exactly going to go out and win. He might. Who knows? You can't deny him anywhere that we go. But a teammate, not so good either. A way more dismal season. But I don't know. I give it a couple more weeks. We'll see what he can bring, man. But right now they're just slacking. They're slacking bad. So we'll have to see where it goes from there for sure. So moving right along to that Bristol recap, man, I tell you what, like I said earlier, Denny Hamlin comes home victorious, back-to-back there at Bristol from last summer to the spring. we know he's run good there. We know he has a few wins there, but at the end of the day, I didn't see it coming. And I think a lot of that plays into what we're getting into is the tire issues. But before we get into the issues, got to give big shout outs to those guys that did have some really good runs. I mean, John Hunter Nemechek, you got to have a big shout out there. Top 5 finish there. Ty Gibbs, top 5. A lot of guys that you expect to finish really good there did not. And there were some younger guys and underfunded teams that really turned around and had a really good run and managed it right, whether it was pit strategy or how it ended on the tires. They did good. But getting into the biggest issue, man, I mean, we know tire was an issue, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more in depth at the end of the show in the hard right turn, but, Goodyear dropped the ball on this one a little bit, man. So we'll talk about that more. But at the end of the day, that kind of dictated the race. That manipulated the race in a way where you didn't see that classic normal Bristol to where guys come on, a lot of good side-by-side. It just was more of a management race, which, like I said, I'll give you my thoughts here in a bit on it. It wasn't my forte, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. We're past it now. We'll move forward. So all in all, I mean, if we're judging it on everything we've seen this season as far as racing goes, that was probably the worst race that we've seen all year. I mean, every race up to this point was amazing. This one here, there again, outlaying variables, something that nobody could see. Again, we're going to talk about that more in depth in a bit, but people made the best of it, and some people didn't. So at the end of the day, it's one of those things you never know what's going to happen. You got to be prepared, and, that's the way it falls sometimes. So, it just wasn't one of my favorites. I was really looking forward to Bristol in the spring. We're getting back on concrete. We're done with the dirt. We get to see like one of the favorite places everybody loves to see, and it just didn't bring the excitement I thought that it should have. So by far, I rank it dead last this season. That was dead last, my favorite race that I've seen this season, unfortunately. Yeah, that was dead last, the last one. So we're getting ready to get into that COTA preview, but before we do, I got a special guest coming up on here tonight. I tell you what, it is a young, up-and-coming, great young man here from the Savannah area, and a lot of talent. I didn't go down with Lawrence, but Lawrence went down, and I had no idea, and I wish I would have now, which I will be definitely coming back down. But we got Will Haire coming on the show, guys, so give a big shout-out for him, and great young talent here coming in. So, Will, how's it been going, man? You been doing all right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, brother.
Yes,
awesome. I like it. So, tell everybody out there a little bit about yourself and what you got going on, man.
Well, I race Legends cars at Atlanta Motor Speedway. That's our home track. And raced 5 cars, started out in go-karts 4 years ago. And so, I mean, ever since then, though, it's been crazy. But we changed about last season to Legends cars, but it's been fun doing that. And I play football and lacrosse for Savannah Christian.
I like it, man. I like it. So how's school going? Your mom's here. I know you don't.
It's going well.
I don't know if report cards are coming out. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's going well.
Going good?
We've had good grades.
All right. I like it, man. Keep it up. That's what it's all about. So how did you get into racing? What was the passion behind it all for you to like really go, okay, this is something that I want to do?
I've always liked cars, and so that just turned into someone giving us some money and asking if I'd be interested in racing.
Okay.
We said yes.
And jumped on it, and
yes, sir.
That's history, right?
Yes, sir.
I like it, man. So tell me a couple of the biggest things. Obviously, you said, you mentioned that you race go-karts, and then this is your, first year in Legends? Second year in Legends. Okay, so tell me, kind of the biggest difference for you being behind that wheel, going from that go-kart to getting into that Legend car and kind of relearning.
Well, the go-kart, it's very underpowered, and the Legends car feels like you could do a burnout on the straightaway.
Okay,
It's just completely loose and very light with a lot of power. And so thankfully we have a good person working on the car.
I like it, man. I like it. So you guys, what is that, family ordeal? You, your dad, mom?
No, but we have a guy named Andy James who
that
works
sets
on
you
our
up?
cars.
Okay.
Andy also does driver coaching, and we have a few other teammates. But
okay. Awesome, man.
Yep, he helps all of us out with it.
I like it, man. I like it. So tell us a little bit about what you got coming up here in the near future.
Well, I can't remember what the exact date is, but a week in April, we're going up to Nashville to race at Nashville Fairgrounds for Spring Nationals.
Awesome, man. Great historic track there. That's going to be a good time, man, for sure. Yeah, that's going to be a good time.
Yes.
So, What do you look forward to the most when you get behind the wheel, right? Like, what's your pre-game ritual? Like, before we get into the racetrack, like, what are you bumping in the headphones? What are you eating? What are you doing, man?
I mean, it's usually not much different, just not as much caffeine stuff because it can get you a bit nervous, but just Powerades and stuff. Have Chick-fil-A, but I mean, just talk with Andy a lot, helping me with the lines. That's mainly.
I like it, man. I like it. That's awesome. So, if anybody wanted to come out and start following you, you know, as far as your racing goes and what they, you know, to keep up with what you have going on, how can they, you know, follow you on social, or what can they do,
on
man?
Facebook and Instagram, it's Will Haire Racing, Haire with an E at the end, but it's just all one word. So, I mean, that's our main way. Instagram's our main one.
Okay.
We've had that
Click
for
on
the
there, and
longest.
yeah, I know. I'm old, man. You know, I don't social media the way that you guys social media. So I'm like, you know, Facebook, and kids now are like, Facebook. Like, who does Facebook? You know, I get it, man. I get it. So, but yeah. So, like I said, you know, I got a chance to, you know, meet him at the Atlanta race, talk to Mom and Dad a little bit, and they've been coming up, huge supporters of Rubbin' Grubbin', which thank you guys for that. I really appreciate that.
We enjoy coming.
Yeah, I love it, man. So, like I said, if you guys want to go out, he dropped the handles out there. Find them out there on Instagram. Follow it. Support them. If you're a business out there looking for, you know, a little young driver that's got some talent out there to throw some sponsorship money into, get some tires, get this, get that, hey, there it is, man. Reach out, throw it out there. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to accept it. And the best thing is you're getting to support a local Savannaian dude that is throwing it down, baby. And I know Red Raider Nation out there is thick, all right? I know the Raider Nation out there, dude, is thick. So, hey, show them some love, baby.
Don't say Red Raider.
Oh, my bad. Excuse me, my bad. There again, I have no idea, you know, my bad. Now I'm going to get, you know, hate mail, and I might get threatened over that, Will.
No,
I mean, who knows?
I'll make sure to let them know.
Oh, okay, yeah, let them know.
My favorite track is a place called Lanier Raceplex, which is right across the street from Road Atlanta.
Okay.
You just get right over it, and wherever we race there, you can always hear the cars on the track.
Right.
Yeah, I think one time there was motorcycles racing, which is cool. But
I like it. So, getting back into a little bit of the NASCAR stuff, got a couple questions for you here about how it pertains to NASCAR. Who's your favorite driver, man?
Kyle Larson. Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson.
Okay.
Those are my main two.
Hendrick boy, I like him. See, I knew you guys raised him right because he's going with that HMS, okay? I promise you that. This Ford stuff that Lawrence does, that's a thing of the past. You don't chalk that up, man. You always stay HMS no matter what, okay?
Yeah.
So if there's one thing about the sport of NASCAR when you watch it nowadays and you go, okay, this is something that I like, name me one thing that you like and name me one thing that you don't like about what they're doing right now.
I mean, I like NASCAR, just the speeds and how they change so much. Like they can do ovals, which I enjoy, and road courses, which I enjoyed in go-kart. So it's a combination of the two.
Okay.
And it's fun.
Okay.
I think the things I don't like is just how they're trying to make the cars closer in competition and hold down the other drivers who are good and can pull away from people no matter what, which Kyle Larson does great of and still doing that.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I'm with you 100% on that. I look at it like this, you know, we're kind of in an era now with this next-gen car, and we did that, one, for cost reasons. We know, I mean, big teams are always going to put in big money. When you're building your own parts, your own suspensions, your own engines, your own everything, I mean, that's what racing is honestly all about. We know that, but as a sport, logistically and cost efficiency, I get it, right? But we're starting to see that gap kind of grow a little bit, right? We're starting to see guys kind of get it figured out, and even though we're all got the same third-party parts and when it's plug and play and we're putting these cars together, you're starting to see, you know, the best rise to the top. So I think a couple more years with the next gen, we'll get a couple things lined out for sure, man. But again, hey, thanks for coming on, brother. Thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. I'll be pulling for you. I want you to sign the Rubbin' and Grubbin' flag, brother. You can go pop up there so you can see it right and get it on there. But, hey, like I said, Will Haire, y'all. Give it up. Like I said, go out, follow that social, baby. That's what it's all about. Get him on there. Now, look, this is video evidence. I got it before he hits big right here, okay? This is gonna be one right here that people will look back and they go, oh, man, you got that? And I'm like, yeah, I got that one. So, look, when and if you hit big, don't sign a lot of stuff.
Yes,
Very
sir.
minimal stuff, okay?
Yes, sir. I won't. It's great to be on.
Oh, you know it, brother. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Will Haire, y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome kid, man. I tell you what, a lot of talent. I was ashamed I didn't get a chance to go watch him race, but I tell you what, at the end of the day, from here on out, when he's there and I'm there and I got some time off, I'm gonna go check it out, man. Love it to death. Great family, great kid. Support him, man. I'm telling you guys, if you're part of that, Raider Nation, as Coach DeMasi just corrected me. Okay, we said that. I don't want to specifically get into colors because I guess there's rivals or something out there. If you're part of that, man, we all know. Hey, show him some love, support him. If you're a classmate, pick him up, keep pushing him forward, man. That's what it's all about right there. So, like I said, man, getting into that COTA preview. Look, you guys, I got to pause for station identification. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in to Coach's Corner Sports Network. I hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. Cheers, y'all. All right, man. So we're getting to do a true road course, the first road course of the season. And look, let's be honest, y'all. There's only a few guys in the last few years that have dominated these road courses. We all know that. It's going to be interesting to see what the weather does on Sunday. I think they were calling for a chance of rain earlier in the week. Hadn't looked at it. I have no idea. I know it's not supposed to be a monsoon like we went through that first year we were at COTA, and that was a little sketchy. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a good race. We're going to see who. We're kind of getting into those different style tracks now with the schedule this year of going back-to-back super speedway races and then going to a mile and a half. Phoenix, and now here we are. We're on. Bristol, and now we're getting to a road course, and then we're getting ready to get into those mile and a halves, which pay dividends. So I'm really interested to see who kind of rises to the top on this one. But if you're asking me, hey, make sure you tune in Sunday. Like I said, why not even come up to Coach's Corner on Sunday? One, this one's going to be cranked on. The big portable screens are going to be cranked on. The other 80-plus TVs are going to be cranked on NASCAR. So make sure this is the NASCAR hub in Savannah to come watch it right here at Coach's Corner this Sunday, baby. Now, getting into the top 5, anybody that knows the sport has been watching the sport over the last couple seasons. Like I said, we know there's a handful of guys that are legit and down to run it at every road course. Number 1 for me, and this hurts, but I'll take Tyler Reddick. I'll take the 45. I mean, I like to claim my boy as the road course king, but he's been a little cold as of late, and Tyler Reddick has just been absolutely on fire. So I'll take 45 there first. Second, come on, y'all know, my main man, Chase the Bulldog Elliott, about to go in there, break this winless streak, get the ball rolling back in the right direction, and we're going to get 5 wins. So Harrington can give me that $100, because that's really all I care about. I just want the $100 from Harrington so we can break even on the last 2 years. He called me this past weekend and said, I got it waiting on you. I got your 100 still in my pocket. So hopefully I get it this year. Hopefully I don't go 2 in the hole, because next year I might have to double or nothing next year. But at the end of the day, I'll take Elliott second. 3 for me. Will's favorite guy out there, Kyle Larson. You can't deny the man. He's got talent behind the wheel. I don't care if it's a tricycle or IndyCar. You're getting ready to find out, road course or oval or short track. He's going to show up and compete. Hell of a driver right there. 4 for me is a guy that's been a little somewhat chilly this season. Not crazy chilly, but Ross Chastain. Had past success there at COTA. I don't know really how good of a road course racer he is, but at the end of the day, I think they'll bring some speed there. I'll put him 4th. 5, I told you Christopher Bell is an amazing young talent. I'll keep him on there. Did really good there a few years back at Daytona Roval. I think he's going to do pretty good. And, yeah, he signed the flag, man. We got winners on here. I'm telling you. That's why Will signed it. Winner right there, okay? But dark horses, man, look, I totally forgot about this guy even being on the list, the entry list this week. And you got SVG, dude. Chicago, he showed what he can do. Now we get a true test on an actual true NASCAR road course. We're going to find out what he can do. But I'll take 91. And obviously, you got to have Michael McDowell lined up in there. The Dinger, is Dinger racing this weekend? I have no idea. I didn't even look. If Dinger's racing, you can throw him on there too. I think that guy's obviously going to have a great shot at anywhere we go on a road course. But those would be my dark horses, man, for sure. So get into the money line, but before we do, the money line presented by Redfin Polarized Sunglasses, the best polarized sunglasses on the planet. Doesn't matter if you got a wall hanger or money on the line, make sure you see it clearly with Redfin Polarized. Italian frames, Carl Zeiss lenses. These dudes from top to bottom, customer service to the quality of this glasses, you cannot beat it. It's one of my favorite pair of sunglasses I've ever owned. Costas, Oakleys, I've had them all, lost a lot of them, broke a lot of them. These are very durable, very scratch resistant. And I tell you what, if you don't like them, they give you 30 days to send them back. Money back guarantee, man. It's an awesome deal. So, like I said, doesn't matter if you're out in the woods or on the water, you're going out on that first date with your hot little lady, doesn't matter. Make sure you are looking good in those polarized red fins, baby. You can go to checkout, check that website out. When you hit checkout, use code Rubbin'n'Grubbin15, save you 15%. At the end of the day, as always, use get those red fins, live life fins up, baby. Red fin polarized, man. So, man, we missed out last week, Lawrence, man. We had some good ones. Didn't take Hamlin, unfortunately. We really didn't. I don't like Denny enough to take him. I'll take him where I know he's good. Yeah. It wouldn't have paid anything, like, I'm not going to bet 50 to win $15. That's just not what we're doing. I'd rather just lose it. But at the end of the day, man, I tell you what, we had Ty Gibbs locked in for a top 3 and a win, and I thought it was looking good there for a good long while. Had some other guys that were close, just didn't come to fruition. We're only up 235 units on the year, which we got to get on it. But I tell you what, we're not even outside the first 10 races yet. We're not even a third way through the season. What are we going on? 6 or 7 this week? Yeah, man, we still got some time. I think this weekend we're going to hit. I think Richmond for sure. I've got it pegged out to where it doesn't matter what it is. We're getting ready to hit. So the next few, we're getting ready to get on it. But if you're looking for it, man, I mean, again, those odds at road courses, they don't give you the odds they give you at super speedways because it's a little bit more predictable, I guess. Obviously, track position, we got stage cautions coming back into this, road course racing after we took them away last year. It's going to change a lot of things. We know there's restarts, especially at COTA. That first left-hand turn is a 0-degree left-hand turn, which is definitely not made for NASCARs. It's made for, open wheel. So a lot of hectic mayhem's going to happen there. Late caution there. Anybody can go. Somebody's going to bonsai. Somebody's going to take out 9 guys to get the lead. So at the end of the day, I don't really know. I mean, I'm looking 45 and 9 for us are going to be locks. I don't care if it's negative odds or not. We're just going to have to bite the bullet and maybe only bet one guy and hope that he wins. I don't know what we're going to do. Mid-tier, again, there's a lot of guys, good talented drivers that we know are past champions and so on and so forth that have really good odds. But again, road courses are a little bit different. You either got it or you don't. Some of these guys have never had it in their career. Yeah, a couple wins here and there, but not consistent coming in and week out. But I mean, again, the 34, the 91, the 16, some of these guys, that is their forte and style of racing. That's what they grew up doing, and that's what they know. Odds are going to be pretty decent there. So make sure you go out, follow that social media. Lawrence does a great job of posting all of it. I don't even know where we're at. I think trucks are somewhere different this week. I think we got a truck race back, maybe Xfinity. I don't know. I got to look. I got to look at the schedule. I know we got a couple races. But at the end of the day, make sure you follow us. Tell me who you guys are locking in. Tell me if you think I missed something. I'd love to hear the feedback for sure, 100%.
AJ's on the 13th.
AJ is? Yeah, so he's on there, man. He's ready. Like I said, that's going to be a guy. I mean, there's some guys out there that's got some good talent that you need to take, man, for sure. So getting into that hard right turn, but before we do, got to give a big shout out to my main man, Lamar, over there at Lamar's Body Shop. 35 plus years taking care of Savannah's auto collision needs. The best in the business. Does not matter what it is and what you're looking for. If you need a paint job, you need some parts replaced, I mean, whatever it may be, make sure you hop over there to Lamar's Body Shop, 2301 Skidaway Road. Drop the car off, come to Coach's, have some lunch. It's kind of a win-win, but at the end of the day, the best auto collision business here in Savannah. 2301 Skidaway Road. Again, 2301 Skidaway. Make sure you go check Lamar out. As I always like to say, why settle for par? Go see Lamar, man. So into the hard right turn, man, and this has to do with exactly what we saw at Bristol and exactly the first time outside of the single lug nut losing wheels the first season, the downfall of the next gen. And I'm going to give it a 50-50 blame. I'm going to give it an 80-20 blame this past weekend. Goodyear had a warehouse full of some tires that they had sitting on a compound that they knew wasn't going to be worth a damn. And they said, we got to get rid of this whole damn warehouse of tires. And that's exactly what they did there at Bristol. Okay, they brought... Look, I am always down. You guys have heard me talk about it on here with the next gen. We're not giving horsepower. Everybody's equal. The only way we manipulate driver control in the car is tire compound. Softer compounds on short tracks and certain places bring way better racing. You got to manage your tires. You got to do this. What they brought this weekend, you might as well roll around on marshmallows, man. I promise you, dude. It was horrible. It was horrible. And this is it. If you would have brought that compound and rubbered, it would have rubbered the track up, great, but it didn't. There was no rubber, and it was, the sticky stuff we put down and not the PJ and this and that. And yada. There's all kinds of excuses. At the end of the day, 80-20, Goodyear dropped the ball. NASCAR allowed them to bring it in. It was the worst race of the season. I can guarantee you when this season's over, that's going to be the worst race we've seen all year long. You took everything. There is no reason we should be going to Bristol, and after 30 laps or X amount of laps, these guys are running half throttle to manage tires where guys with new tires are coming out running 3-second laps or fat times. That's not what Bristol was made for. That's not what that is about. You do that at Phoenix. You guys dropped the ball. You could have done it at Phoenix. You guys dropped it. So just how I feel about it, but that's the box that we are locked into with the next-gen car. Third-party parts, plug-and-play race cars that we build. Everybody is majority equal outside of those engineers that you have in the shop that figure out their ways to stay inside the rules, get you a little bit more, but that's what happens. When you don't have multiple practices all weekend, you have one practice, it doesn't show tire wear. The car, when you pull it in and you go out and run a 30-lap run on practice and you show the tire wear, you can't bring it back in and change a lot of the camber that you've always put into it from the shop. You are locked in. There's only so much you can change. So this is the downfall of the next gen. And I've loved the racing we've had so far up to this point. But again, when you can't go to the track and you can't change your car but so much, and the compound is what it is, and when you bring that, this is a prime example exactly of what you see happen. Anybody out there that says that was a good race, you should just not watch until we get back to Bristol again in August or whenever we go back there. I don't even know when it is. September, October, whenever we go back, August, that night race, don't even tune back in until then because that was a horrible race. You ruined, I was so excited to see Bristol Concrete Spring. That was horrible. Absolutely horrible. And I didn't win any money. If I would have won money, I'd have been like, all right, yeah, it's at least halfway decent. But no, it wasn't even good, man. So love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Tune in. Let me know what you guys think. I just think that, again, we're locked in a box with the next gen, and Goodyear needs to know that, and NASCAR needs to have their hands fuller. Yeah, tire test there last year, and we did this, did that. At the end of the day, evidently you didn't test enough because it didn't work out good at all. So they got to be a little bit tighter on that. Hopefully we do not see that again this season, the wear that we saw. I'm always down for a softer compound at certain places. Like I said, it brings into a different aspect where the driver can control speed and wear on what they have and prolong it or shorten it, however they want to do it. But at the end of the day, that was a little ridiculous. That reminded me of 08 Indy, which is probably the worst absolute NASCAR showing ever. You run 9-10 laps and you're blowing tires. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was an all right race. I mean, I watched it. I loved it. But at the end of the day, it wasn't that bad. But it was close. It was second. It was second right behind that race. So, well, that's gonna do it for the NASCAR news, baby. We are on to the grubbing, and I tell you what, I got a lockdown. I'm pretty sure it's the Pat Summitt Patty Melt, baby. Okay, and Pat Summitt's a hell of a coach. I don't care, men's, women's, it doesn't matter. A hell of a coach, all right? We got that Patty Melt locked down, baby. I went coleslaw and potato salad because I'm just over chips and tots. I wanted something unfried. Got that marble rye, baby. Look at that bad boy. Onions, grilled onions, cheese to the T. I'm going to throw some mustard on this bad boy. I'm going to get down when I get off this show, man. I am very hungry today. Again, as I always say, man, if you guys have not come out to Coach's Corner and had one bite to eat off this food menu, you are missing out. Awesome. They will do anything and everything they can to make it your way as long as it's reasonable. From the kitchen staff to your waiters to your bartenders to the ownership. One of my favorite places to be, man. You guys know. Coach's Corner, Thunderbolt, Georgia, baby. Come check it out. Got to give a big shout out here to Coach DeMasi, man. We're coming on with that Coach Carl DeMasi Sports Report coming on right here after me. Then next week, when are we coming on, Coach? Thursdays. After this week, he'll be going on Thursday nights right here. Coaches.
And I'll come back and follow you.
Oh, you're coming back.
I'm going to draft every Wednesday night, buddy.
Every Wednesday night, Coach is in the house. I love it, baby. He's drafting right behind me. He says every single Wednesday. I love it. Make sure you guys, if you haven't yet, go out, subscribe to that YouTube channel. I think Coach got us beat on subscribers. He's got those kids. I gotta get some more kids into racing. We all need you to spread the love at school. Tell them to subscribe to Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Spread it everywhere, okay? I need to spread everywhere. Coach got me there, man, but it's awesome. He does a great job. I mean, the best in the business when it comes to teaching you about prep sports here in the area and major sports as well. Great outlooks, great commentary, great guests. I mean, the man is a legend around here, okay? The kids that come on, I know the man has coached some very good D1 athletes, okay? I do know that. I can name a few off the top of my head. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. You want to keep up to date with sports? Make sure you tune in to Coach Carl, baby. That's what it's all about. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to open it up for Coach to get on the stage. I hope everybody had a great Wednesday night. Want to give a big shout out again to Will and his family for coming on. I love them. Big support. We're going to throw some Rubbin' and Grubbin' sponsorship stickers on there. If it doesn't happen this year, we're throwing some money in next year. Rubbin' and Grubbin'. We're going to get a sticker on that car, I promise you. But at the end of the day, man, love you guys. Hope you guys had a great Wednesday night and enjoyed the show. Stay safe. You know, the outro I usually use, I'm not going to use it this week. You know what? I just hope I'm having a great Wednesday. I'm drinking cold beer. I'm about to get off here. Me and Lawrence about to give it hell. We might even start betting on a ring toss for the night's over. I don't know what we're doing, but love you guys. Have a great night. Tune in every Wednesday right here at Coach's Corner, Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Make sure you stay tuned for Coach Carl coming up. Love you guys. All right.